We've spent a lot of time working in and around Qualcomm's existing operations, and we really do understand their sensitive nature. Some of the most critical aspects of this project are related to site logistics. A significant amount of existing occupied space and constrained parking availability is even further impacted by the temporary Qualcomm trailer complex and impending construction of the new parking structure. This requires our plan for construction of buildings AY and AZ to be thoughtful, intelligent, sensitive, and respectful of existing operations and people. In our preliminary analysis, we have first identified some key existing features. As can be seen, the existing drive entrances are located here with existing shuttle drop-off and employee access in these locations. Entrances to the buildings are located here, and the fire department access lanes and service points are shown here. The existing mechanical plants, which will have important implications in terms of how site work is sequenced, are here. And the Qualcomm trailer compound, which we understand must remain in place until AY can be occupied, is here. The new parking structure ultimately resolves the on-site parking constraint, but actually compounds the issue for at least a portion of our effort to the tune of about 270 parking stalls.
Understanding the key features critical to your existing site functions allows us to create a site logistics plan that maximizes construction efficiency while being respectful of your continuing operations. When considering where to place the project team, namely Qualcomm, the design team, DPR, and our major subs, we looked at both on-site and off-site options. While establishing a command center on-site as our preference, we respect and understand the obvious impact on an already constrained parking situation. If we were to locate trailers on-site, the ideal location is here, in the middle of the action between buildings AY and AZ. Knowing it's Qualcomm's preference that we locate off-site, leasable space is available in close proximity to the project, with the best option being here, and alternatives being here and here. Determining where we will set up shop leads into other logistical considerations. Parking being at a premium already, parking for the construction craft is an important issue. The surrounding streets appear available for parking to the tune of approximately 400 spaces in the 3 streets bounding the site. If these spaces need to be maintained for overflow employee parking, other off-site parking options such as leasing lots and remote shuttling can be implemented. Establishing fenced perimeters and dedicated site access for construction materials and manpower is another vital component. We expect the fencing to be dynamic and ever-changing, given the complexities of redeveloping the entire site in the midst of an existing campus. In evaluating the conceptual design, it appears that new drive entrances are currently planned in these locations. These 2 locations in particular are ideal candidates for early installation and use for construction. Site utilities, both existing and new, always play a key role in shaping a logistics and sequencing plan. This project is no different. In fact, it is one of the most critical things to understand going forward. Strategies for the central plant, whether centralized or decentralized, will really help finalize the best of the options we are presenting here today.
With regard to the schedule and the sequencing of the project, we've assumed that the critical path for Qualcomm runs through occupying building AY and that the building AZ would be sequenced to finish in parallel. Although there is much to be learned about the building, our review of the conceptual design suggests that budgeting 18 months for building AY seems reasonable. Variables such as whether there is a basement or any below-grade parking could affect this duration. The ultimate design for the exterior skin in terms of materials and systems can also be a significant consideration both in terms of cost and schedule. The configuration and size of this building actually lends itself to thinking of it as 2 distinct structures. We believe that by focusing on the northern structure first, we can open up a flow of work that gives us a jump on the project. For that reason, we envision erecting the steel on this structure first, followed in sequence by the concrete slabs on metal deck, fireproofing, and exterior skin. Immediately upon completing steel erection for this section of the building, we will continue hanging iron for the southern building and the connector between these 2 structures. As can be seen here, the southern structure creates some unique logistical challenges, given that the upper floors actually cantilever out over the main entrance to the structure. In order to accommodate construction and ensure a safe environment for Qualcomm and its employees, we would recommend rerouting the main entrance as shown here. With regard to Building AZ, although much smaller in scale, it is a jewel box with specialized spaces such as cafeterias, conference rooms, and shouldn't be minimized in terms of complexity and importance. We believe that this project could take about 13 months to construct, again, dependent on some of the same variables such as basements and exterior skin design. If intended to finish in parallel with Building AY, this would mean that construction would start approximately 5 months after the start of Building AY in order to finish at the same time. The upside to this is that it may well coincide with the completion of the new parking structure, which in turn should minimize the impact to parking associated with building this structure. Obviously, if Qualcomm prefers to finish this building as soon as possible, we would advance the sequence of construction to accommodate this objective. One of the most intricate aspects of this project is related to site work. Sequencing of this work is affected by a number of factors: minimizing the impact to existing occupants, completion of buildings AY and AX, and maybe most importantly, determining the design solutions for the central plant and whether it's actually a centralized or decentralized plant are all driving concerns that will affect the approach to site work. It is likely that the site work will be completed in several different phases, as shown here, in order to expedite completion and minimize disruption, with the final phases tied to the commissioning or decommissioning of the existing and new central plant.
To summarize, balancing the need to efficiently support construction activities against the existing campus operations is a team effort that we cannot solve alone. We look forward to solving these issues together with Qualcomm and the design team.